Good evening. This is Peter Lauren. The circumstances leading up to horror and tragedy are many times as innocent seeming as a Sunday school picnic, and the perpetrators of evil appear often as ordinary, normal human beings. Yes, but they are capable of conceiving acts of diabolic destruction, as you will hear tonight in the Mystery Playhouse. Listen now to Mr. Boris Karloff in Those Who Walk in Darkness. We look in on a scene taking place in a private room at Bayside Hospital. A man with heavily bandaged eyes lies restlessly in a bed. At his bedside are his wife, Valerie, a nurse, and a famous eye surgeon, Dr. Paul Wade. Dr. Wade looks strangely and intently at his patient before he speaks.
Dressings at midnight and again in the morning, nurse.
Yes, Doctor.
Well, Doctor, what did you find? Will I be blind? Is it very bad?
Now, take it easy, Mr. Denton. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all.
You're sure? You aren't just saying that.
I'm quite sure.
Valerie, did you hear that? I'm not going to be blind. Valerie, where are you?
Right here, darling.
Did you hear? I won't be blind. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, darling, it's marvelous.
You don't sound very excited. Valerie, don't you realize I'm going to see again?
She doesn't sound excited because I don't want you to be excited, Mr. Denton. You've got to relax. Try to sleep.
Sleep? With this ungodly pain? My eyes feel as though they were on fire.
That will stop as soon as the opiate I gave you takes hold. You'll be comfortable, I'm sure. Now, good night.
You're going now, Doctor?
Yes, I'll look in on your husband in the morning.
Stephen?
Yes, Valerie?
Do you mind if I step out into the corridor for a moment?
But you promised not to leave me. I'm afraid, Valerie. Everything's so dark.
The nurse will be here, dear, if you want anything. I just want to ask Dr. Wade some questions.
Questions? But he's already told us.
Yes, Stephen, I know. But I'd like to find out about the treatment and how I'm to take care of you when we get you home, you know. Just little things.
All right. But hurry back. I want you near me.
I will, dear.
Good night, Mr. Denton.
Good night, Doctor. And thank you.
You're quite welcome. After you, Mrs. Denton.
Thank you.
I suggest we step into the consultation room across the hall. We'll have more privacy.
All right.
Here we are.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a long time, Valerie.
Yes, Paul, it has.
Almost 10 years, isn't it?
About that?
Strange that you should have called me, of all people, to treat your husband's eyes.
Oh, I was panicky, Paul. I didn't know what to do. It all happened so suddenly. Stephen was working in his laboratory at the house when suddenly I heard a violent explosion. I ran in and found him clutching his eyes and screaming, "I'm blind." First thing I thought of was an ambulance. Then you...
Why didn't you think of me 10 years ago?
It's not fair, Paul.
Was it fair to turn your back on me and then to marry a man almost twice your age?
Paul, please, why bring up ancient history?
It isn't ancient history to me. I've never forgotten you.
Paul, about Stephen's eyes.
What about them?
I have a feeling that you weren't telling him the truth.
You're right.
Oh, you mean he's not going to regain his sight? He's going to be blind? Oh, Paul.
You don't expect me to be terribly concerned, do you, Valerie? After all, he did take you away from me.
Don't be vindictive, Paul. It wasn't Stephen's fault. He didn't even know of your existence.
And you never told him that we were on the point of being married.
No, never.
It's rather ironic that we should meet again at the bedside of my rival. Your husband. A man who may forever walk in darkness.
Don't say that, Paul. It's horrible.
But unfortunately true. A moment ago you told me not to be vindictive. I'm not, really. But if I were, I could have my fill of vengeance if I told him about us. And then told him that he'll be blind forever.
You wouldn't, Paul.
Or I might take another form of revenge. I could tell you that an operation is called for. A very delicate operation.
Are you trying to say that there might be a chance?
Yes. But supposing I refuse to perform the operation?
Paul, you're joking. You can't mean that.
Perhaps not. But you call me vindictive. Suppose I operate, and my scalpel slips. What if he dies?
That would be murder. You're not a murderer, Paul. You wouldn't risk your professional reputation. Why must you torment me this way?
You really love him, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Then forget the things that I've been saying. I want you to think of me as a friend. I want you to trust me.
I do trust you, Paul.
Thank you. Now as to the possibility of surgery. Here is the situation. The transparent film over your husband's eyes, the corneas, were burned and torn by the explosion. They've been so damaged that blindness will result, even though the eyes heal.
But you think an operation would cure that?
Possibly, although it's a very delicate job. The injured cornea must be peeled away and replaced by a fresh, healthy one.
Where can you get healthy corneas?
From the eyes of the dead.
Oh.
It isn't quite as horrible as it sounds, Valerie. Dying people often will their eyes for just this purpose. We maintain what we call a corneal bank. It's much the same as a blood bank, only but there's this difference. Corneal tissue can't be stored more than 48 hours. It must be fresh, or it's no good.
You have some available in the bank?
No, that's the trouble. I'm afraid we haven't.
But there's got to be some, Paul.
I don't know where, Valerie. Unless...
Unless what?
I was just thinking. Last night, one of the interns asked me to look at a charity case that puzzled him. He lives in a dirty little shack near the waterfront.
Yes, Paul.
I stopped by and examined him. I found him in incurable condition. There's no way to save him. He won't live more than a day or two. But his eyes are healthy.
You mean you think he might...
I don't know. You'd have to have his consent, of course.
Take me to him, Paul. I'm sure I can make him understand.
Oh, it may not be so easy, Valerie. He's a strange person. A mystic and a spiritualist.
Let me try. Just take me to him.
All right. We can go there now.
How can anyone live down here, Paul? Wet streets and fog rolling in from the river. I shudder.
You'd be surprised where people are forced to live. That's the house over there. That gray shack.
Does he live alone?
No. There's a toothless old woman. I don't know where he picked her up, who keeps house for him. She's rather hideous and, I suspect, a bit demented. So don't be frightened when you see her.
I'll try not to be.
Here we are. There's no bell.
Those foghorns are giving me cold shivers.
Yes, they do sound eerie. Here comes the old woman.
Yes?
We'd like to see Chandra, please.
You can't. He's getting ready to go away. Chandra's going on a long journey.
Yes, we know. We'd like to see him before he leaves. We are friends of his.
Eh?
I said we are friends of Chandra. I was here last night. Don't you remember?
All right. Come in. His room's at the end of the hall. You know the way. I have to stay here by the stove. I'm cooking something. Yes, something for Chandra's journey.
I see. Come, Valerie.
Something for Chandra.
Paul, she's ghastly.
But harmless, I'm sure. Here, this is the room.
Dark in there.
Yes, but there's a lamp burning. But the wick is down. I'll turn it up. There, that's better.
Paul, there on the cot. Is he alive?
Yes, still alive. Chandra. Chandra.
Who calls Chandra?
It's Dr. Wade. You remember me? I was here last night.
Yes. Chandra remembers, but it is too late. I am going away on a journey.
I know. That's why I've come. I brought a young lady with me, Chandra. She has a favor to ask.
Chandra has no favors to grant. Soon I will start to the other side.
Let her tell you what she wants, Chandra. So go ahead, Valerie.
Chandra.
Well,
Chandra. My husband suffered an accident. An explosion. His eyes. Oh, Paul, I can't. You tell him, please.
All right. Can you hear me, Chandra?
I hear you.
So this young lady's husband just lost the sight of both his eyes. He'll be completely blind unless I perform an immediate operation. Unless I take parts of two healthy eyes and place them on his. He's asking that you give her your eye. Do you understand?
I understand I am visited by those who would rob me.
But you're going to die anyway.
Die? No, you are wrong. There is no death. I am going on a journey.
Please. Please help me, Chandra.
No, I will need my eyes. I will need them to see into the great beyond, to guide me through eternity. The eyes are the windows of the soul.
I'll give you anything you ask.
No, I said no. Oh.
Oh. Something's happened.
He's dead.
Then it's all right. You can take his eyes.
No, I can't. He refused you.
Paul, listen to me. A doctor's first duty is to the living, to heal them, to make them whole. What responsibility have you to this lifeless thing?
It's a matter of professional ethics, Valerie.
Paul, you've got to do it. For me. Blindness would drive Stephen out of his mind. He's always hated the dark, like a little boy. Paul, please.
It wouldn't be right, Valerie.
It's a matter of life and death, not right or wrong. Paul, you have your surgical kit with you.
Yes, but...
Paul, please. I beg you.
All right. Close the door.
Well, it's good to be home again, Valerie. That hospital room was beginning to get me down.
It's going to be even better once the bandages are taken off.
Yes. Just another week, that's what Wade said. Oh, he's a good doctor, Valerie. I like him.
I'm glad.
Imagine being able to see again after all these weeks of darkness. I've never liked the dark. Why, it will be like coming into a new world. Yes. Tell me, what sort of an operation was it, Valerie?
Well, I don't know.
You sound like you're trying to hide something.
Oh, don't be silly, Stephen. Oh, that must be Paul. Dr. Wade. Now, I'd better let him in, Stephen. I think Jenny's in bed.
Good evening, Mrs. Denton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Sorry I'm so late, but I had an emergency call.
Oh, it's quite all right.
Hello, Doctor.
Well, how is the patient?
Oh, fine, thank you, and anxious to get these bandages off.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, but blindness is a curse.
Don't be so morbid, Stephen. You're very lucky.
Yes, I know I am. It's a warm night, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, a lovely night. Stars and a new moon.
They say a new moon's a good omen if you look at it over your left shoulder. Did you know I was superstitious, Doctor?
Well, I guess we all are in one way or another.
Yes. Oh, would it be all right if we took a short walk in the garden while Valerie makes some coffee? That is, if you have the time, Doctor.
Yes, plenty of time.
Well, can't I come along?
Oh, no, this is a stag party. You fix some coffee for us like a good girl, and we'll be back shortly.
All right.
Here, we can go out through the terrace.
Here, let me take your arm.
Thank you, Doctor. What a gorgeous night.
Yes, isn't it? See how the moon is... Oh, sorry, old fellow. I forgot for a moment.
That's all right. I'll be seeing it soon enough, thanks to you. And now you're seeing it for me. Over my left shoulder, I hope.
Why, no. It's the right one.
That's bad luck. Oh, but you couldn't possibly bring me bad luck, Dr. Wade. Not after giving me back my sight. You'll never know what you've done for me.
No?
No. You can't possibly know how much it was because you're not in love with Valerie. Valerie's my life, Doctor. So young, so beautiful. Without eyes, how could I see her beauty? I'm getting on in years, you know, and there'd be very little left for me if I couldn't look at Valerie and see the warmth of her smile. Oh, I don't expect you to understand that. Nobody can understand it except the one who's in love.
Perhaps you're right. It must be very pleasant to see with the eyes of love, even though the eyes are borrowed.
Borrowed? What do you mean?
Oh, why, nothing. Nothing, really.
That's not the truth, Doctor.
Shall we keep walking?
No, I want you to explain what you meant when you said my eyes are borrowed. It had something to do with the operation you performed, did it not?
Now, look over.
I won't be put off. I told you I was superstitious.
Give me back my eyes.
Who said that? Dr. Wade?
Who said what?
Give me back my eyes.
There, a strange voice.
I didn't hear anything.
Yes, I heard a voice saying, give me back my eyes.
Give me back my eyes.
There it is again, Doctor. Oh, for the love of heaven, whose voice is it? Tell me. Tell me, I'm blind, I can't see.
I think perhaps we'd better go in, Mr. Denton.
No, I'll tell you I heard a voice.
Oh, but you're tired. Now, come.
But all right. I can't understand it. I swear I heard a strange, hollow voice.
There was no voice, at least. None that I heard. Here we are. Step up. That's fine.
Back so soon?
I think you'd better go right to bed, Mr. Denton. You're tired and unnerved.
Yes, I will.
Coffee will be ready in just a few minutes.
Oh, I think I'll retire, Valerie.
Is something wrong, Stephen?
He's tired.
Oh, here, let me help you.
No, don't bother, please. I can find my own way. You stay with Dr. Wade. Doctor, are you sure we didn't hear?
I'm positive.
I see. Well, good night.
Good night.
I'll be in shortly, Stephen.
All right.
What happened, Paul?
I'd rather not discuss it.
Please, you must tell me.
Well, it's something I've been worried about.
What do you mean?
I haven't brought this up before because I was hoping against hope that the thing I feared was not true.
Paul, you don't have to hide anything from me. Is something wrong with Stephen?
I'm afraid so. I'm afraid the explosion injured his brain as well as his eye.
Oh, Paul.
It isn't going to be easy to take, Valerie.
What happened in the garden?
He said he heard a strange voice saying, "Give me back my eye." Oh, I shouldn't be telling you this, Valerie. You're trembling.
Oh. I'm thinking of that Hindu, Chandra. You said he was a mystic, a spiritualist. Do you think it's possible that... Oh, no, it couldn't be.
No, Valerie. I'm afraid Stephen's brain has been affected. And the horrible part of it is that I'm convinced the complete insanity will set in eventually.
Stephen!
I heard what you said, Doctor.
Oh, Stephen.
It's all right, dear.
Stephen, darling.
Come back into the bedroom, Mr. Denton. I want to talk with you. No, Valerie. You stay out here. Or better yet, go and get me some hot water.
Hot water?
Yes, I think I'll change these bandages and I'll want the water boiled. So watch it for at least 6 minutes.
Very well. I'll go to the kitchen.
Now, Mr. Denton, shall we go into your room?
It's no use, Doctor.
Let me guide you. There. That's fine.
I know you're trying to cheer me up, but I tell you it's no use, Dr. Wade. I understand. I'm going mad.
I'm sorry you overheard. After all, I could be wrong. Although
you know it's true.
I may as well be frank with you, Mr. Denton.
Give me back my eye.
That voice. I tell you, Doctor, I keep hearing that voice.
I tell your imagination is working overtime. Now, I'll get you a sedative. Valerie! Oh, here you are. I thought you were in the kitchen getting some water for me.
No, I didn't go. You didn't fool me asking for hot water.
Fool you? I'm afraid I don't understand.
You monster. You horrible
What are
monster.
you talking about?
Get away from that door. Let me go into my husband. Let me tell him.
Just a moment.
Get your hands off me. Let me go. I should have known right from the beginning. Instead, I trusted you, had faith in you.
Valerie.
Holding me. Make my skin crawl.
Valerie, I demand an explanation.
You'll get it, all the explanation you want. I suspected something wrong when you sent me for hot water. That was just to get rid of me. Get me out of the way for 6 minutes. But I didn't leave this front room.
Now, listen.
I did listen. Bedroom door didn't quite latch. I saw what you did. He couldn't see you because his poor eyes are bandaged. He's blind. But I saw your lips move, and I heard you say the words, "Give me back my eyes."
Valerie, will you please let me?
If you don't get your hands off me. You unspeakable monster. Trying to drive Stephen mad. Playing on his superstitions, his fear of the dark, of the unknown. To turn him into a raving maniac.
Valerie, be quiet.
Quiet! Why, you filthy, desperate... What was that? Stephen! Stephen! He shot himself! He's dead! Oh, Stephen!
Valerie.
Go away. Go away.
Valerie, it was all for the best.
Best.
Let me talk to you, Valerie. I can explain everything.
You murdered him.
I did it for you, darling, for us. Come into the living room and let me explain.
You murdered him. Just as if you'd held that gun to his head and pulled the trigger yourself.
Please, darling.
Go away. Leave me alone.
Valerie, believe me, I did it to free you from a man who didn't deserve you. I did it so that you could know happiness with me. You're young, Valerie. You have years ahead of you. You're entitled to everything in life. You understand? Come into the living room. There, that's it. We're going to be so happy together. Let me close the door and shut out the last memory of what has gone before. Now, our life is before us. Here. Sit down.
My head, Paul. I have a terrible headache.
I'll get you some aspirin. Where is it?
In Stephen's laboratory. I'll get it.
Let me help you. There.
I think it's on the middle shelf. Turn the light on, Paul. The switch is on the right.
I have it. Let me get the aspirin for you.
I can find them more easily.
I've been thinking, Valerie. After this is all over, we're going away on a trip. Perhaps somewhere off in the mountains, or... You've got the wrong bottle, dear. That's not the aspirin.
No. It's one of Stephen's chemicals. It's acid, Paul. Sulfuric acid.
Oh, Valerie, put it back on the shelf. That stuff will burn.
No, Paul. No, you cold-blooded murderer. You're going to know what Stephen knew before you forced him to take his life. You're going to know what it is to walk in darkness.
Valerie.
Forever.
Down my eyes!
There, my friends, is a young lady who takes literally the old adage, an eye for an eye. Thank you, Boris Karloff and cast, for keeping our growing reputation for horror quite intact. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll follow me, please, I want you to visit the green room. The players are rehearsing our next performance. Come. Come, come.
Watson, what do you know about this man Damery?
Damery? What Damery?
Lord Damery, of course. You seem to have his photograph in all the society weeklies.
Well, naturally, the fellow's a household word in society.
Yes. He's a man of the world with a natural turn for diplomacy, and he's asked me for a 4:30 appointment, which I've granted.
You mean that Lord Damery's coming here, but it's 4:30 now. Look at the mess.
Oh, yes. Sherlock Holmes and the elementary Dr. Watson, played by Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, respectively, will appear in our next tale of mystery. This is Peter Lorre closing the doors of the Mystery Playhouse. Good night. Sleep tight.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda.
Grab a Coke, cup or bottle. Don't forget to Watchwaddle.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, we bring you a transcribed story of a woman who finds a letter warning of death and has only 3 hours to deliver it. We call it The Death Parade. So now, starring Paula Winslow, here is tonight's suspense play, The Death Parade.
Hey, some parade, huh? I'll say. Boy, there's something about a parade, huh? Yeah, you can say that again. Well, it sure has been a nice day for it. Yeah? Not a cloud in it. Hey, look! Up there, on the roof. Where? The Benson building. Hey, look out! Look out! Hey, look out! Go back! Go back! Go back!
All right, now, Miss Johnson, let's try and talk about this, huh? Now, this girl fell or was pushed off a roof this morning, and you say you were the only other person there at the time?
Well, I was. I told you. Oh, what do you mean, pushed? You mean you think that I... Oh, how can you?
I know you're upset, but will you just take it easy and try to answer the...
Upset? I'm nearly out of my mind. I don't see how you can expect me to tell you anything. First you accuse me, and now you... Oh, how can you policemen be so unfeeling? All I was trying to do was... Oh, it's freezing in here. You've no right to...
Miss Johnson, try some of this coffee. It'll make you feel better. Now, you've told us you know something about this accident, something more than we already know.
Yes, I do, Lieutenant. I mean, it never would have happened. Don't you see?
Sure. Now, come on, drink this. This will help me.
Oh, I am so nervous. Oh, it's spilled.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. We'll clean it up later.
Well, that's how it started. You see? That's how it started this morning. Just like that. The coffee. That poor girl wouldn't have died if the coffee hadn't spilled. That's just how it started. My name's Ellen Johnson. I work at the Farnsworth Chemical Plant. For 12 years I've been there and never missed an hour of work. That is, until today. It was so unnecessary. That horrible, rude little man. He was the one. I'm very precise about my daily habits. Very. When you live alone, you arrange things that way. In the morning, I arise and allow myself time to take coffee and toast at the cafe on my corner. I've always disliked cooking in the morning. I leave the cafe at 8:15 precisely in order to be at my desk exactly at 9. This morning was the same, just the same, except for that horrible man. He was awful. As I sat at the counter, I could feel him there, 2 seats away, thin and dark, making a nasty noise as he drank his coffee. It was all his fault.
Gonna see the parade this afternoon, miss?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I'll be working.
That's too bad. Should be good for business.
Yes, I imagine so.
Anything else?
Hey, you.
Oh, no, thank you.
It's 25. Coffee and toast, is it right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Hey, you. Pass the sugar, will you?
Good morning.
See you tomorrow.
What's the matter? I asked for the sugar. You can't pass it?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, why, look at that. You deliberately spilled that coffee all over my skirt. Oh,
Gee, ain't that a shame? What a clumsy. Gee, am I sorry?
He wasn't. He wasn't in the least sorry. He'd done it on purpose. I was wearing a gray silk dress, and it was probably ruined. He just stood there and wiped at the stain with his napkin, smiling. Dirty, crooked teeth. I pushed him away and walked out. I knew I was going to be late because I had to change, so I went home again. If I hadn't gone home, this awful thing might never have happened. It took me 15 minutes to get back to the apartment, change my dress, and leave again for the office. I'd walked 3 blocks when I saw the letter. It was lying on the pavement in front of an apartment house. Because I'm very meticulous about my filing in the office, I can't bear things to be out of place. I suppose that's why I picked it up. It was unsealed and addressed simply to Miss Sheila Mannix. No house number or street. Dear Sheila Mannix, you don't know me. I just got into the city. It doesn't matter who I am, but this is a warning. Believe me, you better take notice. Jack's got it in for you. Oh, I stopped reading. There was more, but I didn't want to go on. It frightened me a little, and, well, I'm not one to pry into other people's business. But this wasn't prying, really. It wasn't. The letter was important. Whoever had written it must have forgotten to put the address on it, and it had fallen out of their pocket. I made up my mind then. I'd go into the apartment house. It was possible that the writer lived there and on his way out had dropped it. The building was quite small, and the janitor probably knew his tenant's handwriting. Let me see. Janitor. Oh.
Yeah?
Oh, are you the janitor?
Yeah, I'm sorry we got no vacancies.
Oh, no, I don't. Look, this letter, it's not addressed. Do you know the handwriting? I thought maybe
Nobody by that name living here.
I didn't ask you that. All I want you to do is to tell me if you recognize the handwriting. It might belong to someone living here.
How come you opened it?
Well, it was lying on the pavement outside.
She'll give it to the mailman.
But it's important. I mean, what's in the letter. I think she ought to get it.
So the post office will forward it.
Oh, can't you see there's no address? How can they forward it? How stupid.
Listen, you don't have to get nasty. I got enough trouble now. I told you she don't live here no more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, who doesn't live here anymore?
Mannix. She had 2A about 6 months ago.
Sheila Mannix lived here? Well, where did she move to? Can you tell me?
No forwarding address.
But I must find her.
Sorry, lady, I can't help you.
I thought of the police then. I should have told them about the letter, but I didn't. I didn't know what else was in it then. All I could think of at that moment was finding Sheila Mannix and giving her the letter and forgetting it. I went back to my own apartment and looked through the telephone book. There were 2 Sheila Mannixes listed. The first lived on Maple Street and the second on South Tower. I rang the Maple number first.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Is this Miss Sheila Mannix speaking?
Oh, Mrs. Sheila Mannix? Who's this?
Well, my name is Ellen Johnson, and I found a letter this morning addressed to a Sheila Mannix. I thought it was important, and I wanted to make sure it got to the right party.
Well, who's it from?
Well, that's it. You see, I don't know.
Have you opened it?
Well, yes, but I only read a few lines.
Oh.
Do you know someone named Jack?
Jack? Well, yes, I do have a nephew.
Oh, then
well,
perhaps...
but he's in Colorado, though.
It seemed to be some sort of a warning.
Warning? I'm afraid I don't understand.
The letter says that Jack has got it in for you. It's a warning.
Well, I'm afraid the letter isn't for me because, you see, my Jack is only 10 years old.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to have troubled you.
Oh, it's all right. Bye.
As I hung up, I realized that the Sheila Mannix I was looking for might not even have a telephone. She might not even be living in the city any longer. I looked at my watch. 9 o'clock. There was my job, but the second Sheila Mannix listed in the directory lived on South Tower. I dialed the number, then got the letter out of my purse and read it. This time I read all of it. Dear Sheila Mannix, don't know me. I just got into the city. Who I am. It's a warning. Believe me, you better take notice. Jack's got it in for you. He was drunk one night, told me about it. Somebody you knew pretty well died last year. He didn't fall off that building. He was pushed, and Jack did it. He said he was going to get you, too. Oh, dear. I would have told the police, but they'd start to get nosy about me. Jack's on his way here, and the way he talks, he'd better not find you around. He talked crazy about a parade. The corner of Main and Thomas at 12 o'clock. That's when he's going to do it. A friend. I sat there, holding a piece of paper that carried a death warning for a woman I'd never seen. And I knew where and when she was going to be killed.
You are listening to The Death Parade, tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
You can't blame a man for being ambitious, but when the man is a blackmailer and he gets overambitious to collect from a client, you can't blame the client for trying to break off the unhealthy business arrangement. Tomorrow night on CBS Radio's FBI in Peace and War, hear the details of The Fall Guy. It's a story of a guy who made too much of a good thing out of a good thing until G-Men got wind of the way he did it. Remember, every Wednesday night over most of these same stations, hear the FBI in Peace and War.
And now we bring back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Paula Winslow, starring in tonight's production, The Death Parade, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The second Sheila Mannix's address was 317 South Tower Street. I got my car out and drove there. It must have been nearly 9:45 when I drew up outside. It was an old rooming house. Oh, hurry up. Come on.
Yeah? What do you want?
Well, I'm very sorry to trouble you. Is your name Sheila...
Talk louder. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wonder if you could tell me, is your name Sheila Mannix?
No.
Oh,
No, it's not.
But the phone book has a Sheila Mannix listed at this address.
Well, it's her phone. She pays for it. I never have no cause to use it.
She does live here, then?
She has a room upstairs. What's the matter? You the police?
Oh, no. Well, does she work? Is she at work now?
How should I know? I never ask her where she goes. What's she done?
You mean you don't know? You don't know where she works? Well, then, do you know where she lived before she moved here?
No, she never says nothing. She's quiet and keeps to herself.
Oh. But where can I find her? It's important that I learn where she is right away.
She'll be home prompt by 7, always is. Come back then if you got to see her.
Oh, 7 will be too late. I've got to find her now before 12.
There ain't no use shouting at me, miss. I can't tell you no more than I have already. Don't know nothing about Sheila Mannix.
Now I knew I'd wasted far too much time. I had to call the police. There was a drugstore on the corner, and I ran down the block to it. I was terribly afraid, and even more, there was a feeling that the house I'd just left was the home of the woman I couldn't find.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Oh, yes. Do you have a phone?
There's one over there, but it's out of order.
Oh, well, then could I use yours? It's an emergency.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a
Well,
private
I've got to call the police. Now, look, I've never been mixed up in anything like this before. It's a letter I found this morning, a warning about somebody being killed.
Oh, say, that sounds bad. There's a phone in the next door. Use that.
Well, maybe you know her. She lives down the block.
Well, who's that?
Sheila Mannix. She's the one. At least I think so.
Mannix? Oh, yes. Mannix. Yes, she comes in often to have a prescription filled.
Oh.
Very nice young woman.
Well, but do you know anything about her? I mean, where she works? I've got to find her right away.
Oh, no,
now,
I
please,
don't.
it's urgent. I asked her landlady, and she didn't know.
Well, seems to me she did mention it once.
Well, think. You must think. Now, please.
Well, now, wait a minute. It was just the other day we were chatting when I filled her prescription. Let me see. She said something about
Was it a restaurant? A cashier, maybe?
No.
A department store? Elevator operator?
No.
Oh, dear. Hats. Clothes? Shoes?
I think so.
An usher? A telephone operator?
No, that doesn't hit some. I'm
you're
sorry.
not thinking. Now, try.
Well, listen, ma'am, if I could help you, I would. But
well, has she any friends in the neighborhood? Somebody who might know?
Well, never mentioned them.
Can't you remember? Maybe she worked in an office. Well?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be with you in just a minute, sir. Excuse me a moment. There's a customer there. You better go next door and call the police.
But can't you remember?
I'll be back.
Maybe a chorus girl. Well, but does she work in a bookstore? Oh, I can't wait. I'll come back after I've called.
Ma'am, wait a minute.
Yes?
I remember.
Oh.
You said bookstore.
Yes?
Right? It's a book company or something like that. Simmons. That was it. Simmons Book and Stationery Corporation. That was it. Simmons
Thank you.
Book and
It's on
Stationery
Main.
Corporation.
Yes, I know the place. Thank you very much. Simmons Book and Stationery Company. Why, I'd been in there dozens of times. She might even have waited on me. I looked at my watch. 10:30. I really meant to call the police, but I didn't know how long it would take to explain, and even then they might not investigate without seeing the letter first. I thought of the corner of Main and Thomas, and the parade, and 12 o'clock. An hour and a half. I ran to my car. I knew that once I found Sheila Mannix and gave her the warning, she'd be safe. There was a lot of traffic. It took me nearly half an hour to get to the Simmons Book and Stationery Company. The clock outside showed 4 minutes to 11.
Good morning. May I help you?
Oh, yes, please. I'd like to speak to Miss Mannix. Miss Sheila Mannix. I understand that she works here.
I'm very sorry, ma'am, but Miss Mannix had an appointment.
She's not here?
Well, I'm sorry, but...
But where did she go?
I think to the doctor.
Oh, what doctor? Where? Now, when did she leave?
Well, now, if you'll wait here, I'll find out for you.
I could have cried. And that silly, precious little salesman, he took forever. How long does it take to get an address? I started to walk to the back of the store when he came down the aisle toward me.
I'm sorry to have taken so long. A customer on the phone, you know.
It's all right. I don't care. Just give me that doctor's address.
Why, yes, I have it right here. Dr. Morton, 101 Flowers.
101 Flowers, Dr. Morton. When did she leave?
Oh, I forgot to ask you.
Oh, no. I'm going there now. Now, look, listen.
Yes?
If she comes back, if I miss her, you tell her to stay right here.
Yes.
You understand? That don't let her leave the store again until I come back.
No.
Don't let her leave. It's a matter of life and death.
Oh, well, all right. Is something wrong?
Something wrong. I ran to the telephone booth. I knew I'd done as much as I could alone to save that poor girl.
Police Department, Sergeant Leonard.
Police. Now listen. Please listen carefully. There's a murder going to be committed at 12 o'clock.
Who is it?
Oh, what does it matter? My name's Ellen Johnson. Please, I found a letter in the street this morning. It was to a woman called Mannix, a Sheila Mannix.
Would you spell that, please?
Oh, Mannix, M-A-N-N-I-X. There's not time for me.
When did you find the letter?
I told you this morning. What difference does it make? Oh, it was 9, I think.
Well, why didn't you call earlier?
Well, I didn't. I tried to find her myself. I think I know where she is now.
Have you got the letter with you?
Yes.
Would you read it, please?
Oh, there isn't time. You've got to send some men here. It's a warning. Somebody called Jack is going to kill her at 12 o'clock on the corner of Main and Thomas.
There's a parade going on then. Now, what does this woman look like? Can you give us a description?
No, I've never seen her. I don't even know her.
You say you think you know where she is?
Yes, at a Dr. Morton, 101 Flower Street.
Where are you calling from?
Simmons Book and Stationery Store. She works here.
Well, will you get a description of the woman, please? I'll wait.
Yes, of course, but don't hang up. I found the young man again, and he told me what Sheila Mannix looked like. I got back to the phone and told the officer. Short, about 5'2", thin, possibly 90 pounds, wearing a brown coat with a brown shoulder strap bag.
We'll try to find her, Miss Johnson. Now, please stay there. I'll have an officer come to the store to pick up the letter.
I put the receiver on the hook and sat in the booth. I was shaking. My hands were wet. It was 11:20. Somewhere outside, I heard a band playing. The parade must have started. I stayed in the shop, and the minutes passed. 11:30, 25 to 12. At 20 minutes to, I just couldn't stand it any longer. The waiting, the awful waiting. I had to do something. I called Sheila Mannix's house again. There was just that chance, that slight chance. Maybe she went home after the doctor. Maybe she's there. Oh, 2 more. No, 3. Let it go 3 more. Oh, be there. You must.
Hello?
Oh, Miss Mannix.
Who is this?
Miss Mannix. You'll never know. Oh, listen. You don't know me.
You have to speak louder. I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Who is this? Miss Mannix?
No, Miss Mannix isn't here. This is the landlady. I'm cleaning up. Is there a message?
I couldn't stay in that store any longer. I gave the letter to the salesman and told him to give it to the police when they arrived. It was 11:45. Main Street was alive with people. Seemed as though the whole city had turned out to watch the parade. To me, it was the same parade of last year and all the years before. But today there was a difference. The floats and the bright carriages meant nothing to me. I I pushed my way along the street toward the intersection of Main and Thomas. I couldn't have stayed away if it were my own life depending on it. The crowd was so thick that it was impossible to see anything from the street, and I had to see. Then I thought of the Benson building and the roof. If I was up on the roof, I could see everything that happened on that corner. It was 5 to 12 when I got in the elevator and took it up to the 19th floor. I had to walk to the roof, and I could scarcely breathe as I opened the door and stepped out into the bright sun. Instinctively, I knew that this was the building. The same building that the man in the letter had been pushed from last year. For a minute, I didn't see anyone, and then, at the corner, standing near the edge, looking down, I saw her. A short woman, quite thin, dressed in a brown coat and a shoulder-strap bag. Oh, Miss Mannix. You are Miss Mannix, aren't you? I've been looking for you. It's about a man called Jack. He's looking... Oh, it's all right now. It's all right. Please, don't be frightened. Don't move back. Don't. The edge. Don't. Oh, what's the matter? Look, get away from there. Oh, no. No. Ow!
And that's how it happened, huh?
Yes, I tried.
You spend from 9 o'clock until 12 looking for, and you don't call us until 45 minutes before it happens.
Well, I told you why.
You know something, Miss Johnson? I think you're lying.
Lying? Why, how dare you say that? I was doing what I thought was right.
You picked up a letter, a warning letter, and you go to a janitor, you call people on the phone, but not the police.
Well,
You visit Sheila Mannix's house, you talk to the landlady, you talk to the neighborhood druggist, salesman of the bookstore, all witnesses, all alibis.
I wanted to find her.
And then
to warn
you
her.
call the police when you're sure it's too late.
Well, how did I know she'd be up there? How?
Well, you've set up a mighty nice alibi for yourself. You were alone with Sheila Mannix. Now, who's to say you didn't push her?
Oh, stop it. You don't know what you're talking about. You've no right. I was trying to help her, that's all. I won't listen to you. I'm going
You
home.
sit down, Miss Johnson. Now, go on, sit down. That's better. I'm holding you for a while. It's going to take more than a cock and bull story like that to get you out of this. We're going to check, Miss Johnson. We're going to do an awful lot of checking.
I was a good citizen. I did my duty. I tried to save her, and you would...
Can I see you for a minute?
Yeah. Now, you just stay right there, miss. We're not through yet.
Oh, murder. That's what they're saying. I murdered her. You're saying that to me.
Had it on the book.
After all the good, I was only trying...
Take a look at the report.
Now, what are they saying? It's about me. I know it. I know it.
Well, that does it, then. Well, Miss Johnson, we know what happened now.
You know? What do you mean you know? I told you. That's how it happened. Every
Now, I'll
word.
tell you something. I've got to believe you. There's nothing I can do about it.
Nothing you can do. Well, what should you do? Instead of frightening the life out of me, you should...
Now, will you
thank
listen to
for-
me for a change? Miss Johnson, I'd like nothing better than to throw the book at you, but I can't. We've got the man called Jack. He was picked up in the parade.
There. I was right.
The
I was
fellow
right.
that wrote the letter you found figured Miss Mannix might have moved. He didn't know where, so this morning he called the police. He told them the story, and that's how we caught up.
Well, then that... Then she was safe. He couldn't have killed her.
That's right.
Well, why was she on the roof? Why did she go there? She wasn't in any danger then, was she?
Oh, yes, she was. From you, because you found her and frightened her to death.
I was only telling her that there was nothing to be afraid of.
Oh, sure, that's all. Do you know she was standing in the same place where her boyfriend was killed a year ago? And then you come along and mention the name of the man that she knew killed him? Now maybe you know why she was afraid and backed away from you. You didn't do a thing. Well, I want you to know something. I want you to sleep with it for the rest of your life. If you just called the police when you picked up that letter, Sheila Mannix would be alive right now. Now, you think about that, huh?
I can't see where I was wrong. Well, maybe I should have called sooner, but I did call. If you hadn't taken
get
so
out
long...
of here, will you? Get out, please, Miss Johnson. It's just too bad we can't send you where the other guy's going. He killed last year, you did it today, and just as sure as if you'd shot her. Now, go on, get out, Miss Johnson, please.
Well, it's all right, Lieutenant. I understand. I can see why you're upset. And I am sorry. I was only doing what I thought right. That's all. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't. If they'd got there sooner, it never would have happened. I've nothing to reproach myself about. Nothing. Oh, dear, I'm so upset. Whole day's work. My gray silk dress ruined. They'll never be able to get that coffee stain out.
Suspense, in which Miss Paula Winslow starred in tonight's presentation of The Death Parade. Next week, we bring you a story of a postmaster and his search for an unwelcome package. We call it Fragile Contents Death. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is transcribed in Hollywood by Anthony Ellis. Tonight's story was written by Shirley Gordon. The music was composed by Rene Garrigan and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Featured in the cast were Stacey Harris, Jack Crucian, Frank Gerstle, Clayton Post, George Walsh, Virginia Eiler, Howard McNear, Helen Klebe, and Jack Carroll.
Leave it to enterprising Americans to make a good thing of the Ground Observer Corps. Many a boy has met many a girl on the skyline parapets of the ground observers, indicating that a 2-hour tour of voluntary duty doesn't require the eyes to be aloft every minute of the time. Join the ground observers at your local civil defense office. 2 hours a week is all you need serve at your own convenience. Stay tuned now for 5 minutes of CBS News, to be followed on most of these same stations by My Sun Jeep. America listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
It's the last of the ninth. 3 men on, 2 out, and here's the pitch. I call them as I see them, boys. You should, too. Just have a Duke and believe your taste.
Believe your taste.
Believe your taste.
When choosing beer.
When choosing beer.
Don't be misled by those confusing claims you hear. Just taste Duquesne and you will see how great good tasting beer can be. Believe your taste. Have a Duke, have a Duke, have a Duke, have a Duke, Duquesne.
And that's the ball game.
Sponsors, dear?
No, thanks. I'm heading for a Duke. I believe my own taste, not those fancy claims I have to make.
Say, this Duquesne is the tastiest, the smoothest,
You're right. There's no finer beer brewed anywhere at any price. So believe your own taste, and you'll have a Duke.
Yikes, stripes, beech nut gum.
By beech nut, by gum.
Yikes, stripes, improved stripe gum.
By beech
By
nut,
beech
by
nut.
gum.
By gosh.
No, by gum. By beech
By
nut,
beech
by
nut.
gum.
By gum.
By fruit
By fruit
stripe,
stripe.
by gum.
By gum. Yikes, stripes.
By beech
By
nut,
beech
by
nut.
gum.
By golly.
By gum.
With 5 different flavors. With extra flavor for the whole family in every stripe.
Luscious lime stripe. Lipstick and lemon stripe. Delicious orange stripe.
Mixed fruit and cherry stripe. All for you in every pack of beech nut fruit stripe gum. By beech nut.
By gum.
By tea.
By gum.
By king.
By gum.
By gush.
By gum.
And there's extra flavor for the whole family in every scrumptious stripe.
More flavors to choose. More flavors to choose.
The flavor starts lively.
The flavor stays lively. By beech nut.
By beech nut. By gum.
By gum.
By gum. Beech nut fruit stripe for the whole family. By gum.
Man lives in a world of time and space. He lives in a spectrum of the universe. When he ventures beyond this limit, he is in the unknown, a realm where strange forces are brought into play. When man attempts to misuse these forces, he is sometimes destroyed. This is Macabre. The Far East Network presents in special performance Macabre. Tonight's story, Final Resting Place.
Roger, this doesn't look like the road. Honey, I think we're lost.
It has to be right, Sue. Justice of the Peace back at Carterville said the lake was on the main highway. We haven't made any turns.
But, darling, it's getting dark. This road doesn't look well-traveled. I really think we made a wrong turn somewhere.
Mrs. Kent, your husband solemnly promises to deliver his bride of a few hours safely and surely to Honeymoon Lodge on Mirror Lake. Now, let's hear no more about it. Come on, move closer. Head on my shoulder. That's it.
Roger, you better watch the road.
Why? We haven't passed another car for an hour. Relax, Sue. It's a fine way to start a married life of bliss.
Look, there's a sign. Can you make it out?
Yeah. Randolph, 5 miles.
Are we supposed to go this way?
Sure. What'd I tell you? It's only 50 miles farther. Randolph is our halfway point.
But this country road, how can they call a lonely trail like this a highway?
You're just a sophisticated cityite. Now close your eyes and listen to the radio. We'll be there before you know it.
All right, darling. I guess I'm getting jumpy.
Head on my shoulder and not another word. Okay?
Okay.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Authorities at the state asylum have just issued the following warning. A dangerous homicidal maniac escaped custody this morning and is believed to be in the vicinity of Randolph.
Roger.
Listen.
He's 45 years of age, weighs 200 pounds, has thick gray hair, and answers to the name of Dr. Vardmore. We repeat, this man is a dangerous killer. Those in the vicinity of Randolph are urged to take extra precaution tonight. Since this killer is armed, the public is warned against walking alone or driving at night on the quiet roads near Randolph. Report all suspicious persons to the county sheriff's office. Now we return you to Stars of Music.
Roger, did you hear that?
Sure, but how does it concern us?
Darling, we are driving down a country road near Randolph. Suppose we should have car trouble or a flat tire.
Oh, you are getting jumpy.
Let's stop in Randolph for the night.
But, Sue, our reservations at Mirror Lake are for
Please,
tonight.
Roger. I have the strangest feeling. If we don't stop at Randolph, we'll never reach Mirror Lake.
Great idea, Sue.
What, darling?
Stopping here for the night? Now we can see the carnival.
It's all right while these people are here, I guess. But we'd better go back to the hotel before they leave.
Are you still afraid?
Well, kinda. Aren't you?
Come on. I'll show you a good time. You'll forget all about it.
Okay. What's that man doing over there?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would kindly step closer,
I don't know. Let's find
I will
out.
demonstrate for you one of the great marvels of all time. As you see at my feet is a hole, an excavation 6 feet in depth, a grave, if you will. And beside me here is a casket. Now, friends, what do you think we are going to do? Now, friends, ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. Tonight, I, Professor Vincent, will select someone, one of you from the audience, to be hypnotized and placed in this casket. Then I will bury him alive for 5 days.
If he's not buried that long, he ain't gonna wind up much alive.
Just a moment, please. 5 days at $100 a day. Now, what do you say? Who wants to make $500? There is absolutely no danger. A shaft will be sunk so that we can see your head. You'll get plenty of light and air. Food will be lowered to you. Nothing to it at all. Who'll be the first volunteer?
You got as popular as an undertaker, pal.
Come now, ladies and gentlemen. Under hypnosis, believe me, 5 days will seem like an hour. The easiest $500 you've ever made. Who will volunteer? How about you, my bumpkin comedian friend?
No, sirree. Last year I took sick with pneumonia. Thought sure I'd end up in one of them boxes.
Did you recover? It's hard to tell from looking at you. You, sir, what is your name?
Roger, he's pointing at you.
I don't think I'd be interested.
Who are you, sir?
Roger Kent.
Roger Kent. Does $500 interest you?
Well, sure, but,
Good. Good, you'll make a fine subject.
Now, wait a minute.
And, Roger, who is the young lady with you?
My wife, Sue.
Oh? And what do you say, Mrs. Kent?
Why, I think it's just a dreadful idea. No.
You better pick someone else, Professor.
Nonsense. Do you need the money?
We do need it. But not this way, Roger. It's awful.
$500 would pay off the car. We still have 10 days left for our honeymoon, Sue.
Well, how about it, friends?
Don't let him tempt you. I don't like that man.
It is a lot of money for only 5 days.
We can't wait all night. What do you say?
I don't know.
Say no, Roger.
Speak up. Yes or no?
I'd hate to turn it down.
You're not going to be buried in that terrible coffin. Tell him no.
Go ahead, pal. We got a first-class cemetery.
All right, everyone. Roger and Sue, time's up. Tell you what I'll do. Think it over. If you decide to go through with it, come back after a couple of hours when the carnival is closed for the night. I'll be waiting for you in my trailer.
Oh, Roger, he wants you. I'm afraid of that man.
Don't forget, I'll wait up for you until you decide one way or the other. Roger Kent will hold the grave open for you.
Roger, I'm afraid.
Listen, Sue, my mind's made up.
But suppose...
Face up to it. We need the money. That's the easiest $500 I ever heard of.
Darling, I know that.
Then what's the matter?
Well, in the first place, we shouldn't be out here in the dark with that madman loose. In the second place...
Professor Vincent seems too interested in me.
Oh, Roger, you read my mind. I'm just trying to protect you, honey. That man, I don't know. There's something wrong.
Admit it, Sue. You don't like the buried alive act. Isn't that it?
Yes, I guess so. It's horrible.
I thought so. Uh-oh. This must be his trailer. Professor Vincent. Here it is.
Roger.
Yeah?
If he answers, there'll be no turning back. It'll be too late.
I know. No turning back.
Professor Vincent?
Come in, Roger and Sue. Come in.
Did you really think we'd come?
I was certain. You see, there is no other way.
count 3, Roger, you will be asleep. Sound asleep on your feet. Then, Roger, you will be placed in the coffin and lowered into the grave for your 5-day rest. Now look deeply into my eyes. Deeply. Inhale and look deeply into my eyes. You're going to sleep, Roger. To sleep. You can no longer move your arms. They hang helpless at your side. Sleep, Roger. Close your eyes and sleep. 1, 2. Your eyes are closed. And now you are powerless to open them. You are free. Asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to place Roger Kent in the casket. Whom among you in the audience will help me?
I will, Professor.
All right, my friend, step right up here now. Here, help me raise the lid of this coffin.
Now, give me his feet and we'll put him in.
Careful, careful. He's a big man. There. He's in.
Guy, heavy as a rock. Just like a dead man.
Yes, now, close the lid. Close it. Now we're ready to lower into the grave. You see, the casket is supported over the open hole by 2 chains. If you'll flip that switch the same time I flip this one, Mr. Kent will be gently deposited in his grave.
This one?
Yes. There it goes.
Glory be. Just like a real funeral. Reminds me of the time we buried my grandpappy.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, the coffin will lie at the bottom of the grave. We will then place an air shaft down to Mr. Kent's head so that he will be able to breathe. And all of you will be able to see him at 25 cents apiece.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Thank you, friend. You've done your work now. Will you kindly leave? Thank you. You are witnessing the marvel of the age. A human being being buried alive. The casket has stopped. Will another volunteer from the audience help me position the air shaft?
How about me?
Fine. Step up here, friend, if you please.
You picked the right one this time, Governor.
So?
I used to work in a funeral parlor. Handled the stiffs.
Yes, now, just pick up that end of the metal shaft, please. Easy does it now. Down over the round opening on the casket lid. Careful now. There. Thank you very much, my friend. Neat, very neat.
Okay, Governor. What next?
The shovel. The hole must be covered up.
Oh, sure.
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. You have just seen demonstrated the marvel of the age. A man buried alive. Mr. Kent will lie there in a deep slumber, the end of which time we'll dig him up and pay him $500. In the meantime, my friends, you may step up here and view him down the shaft for a small sum of 25 cents, 1/4, the 1/4 part of $1. Ladies and gentlemen, who will be first among you?
No, sir.
What's that you say?
Dishonest, I say.
What's the matter with you?
Charging money to see him buried alive.
What?
I ought to know. I helped you lift him in.
Leave the carnival, sir. Leave here immediately.
That man ain't buried alive. He's dead.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Kent. This is Professor Vincent. I got your message. First chance I've had to call you.
Oh, Professor, I'm so glad you did.
What's on your mind?
How is Roger?
I keep telling you he's all right. Now you must stop this nonsense.
Well, it's been 3 days since he was buried, and he just lies there so still. Oh, if I could only talk to him.
Mrs. Kent.
I called down to him, but he never moves or opens his eyes. And after all this time, I know something is wrong. Roger wouldn't let me worry like this. He'd at least look up and smile, if he could.
How many times must I repeat he is hypnotized?
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Oh, just a moment, Professor. The radio...
Sheriff's office has just confirmed the whereabouts of the homicidal maniac who escaped from the state asylum 3 days ago. This dangerous killer who calls himself Dr. Vardmore is now known to be in the immediate vicinity of Randolph. Everyone is cautioned against walking alone on the streets after dark. If you plan to attend the carnival, kindly do so with friends, and leave the carnival in the company of others. Report all suspicious persons. We return you now to your regular program.
Did you hear that on the radio?
Yes, I did.
Oh, Professor, I'm terribly afraid. I don't want Roger alone down there with this madman loose. Please, Professor, dig Roger up tonight.
Mrs. Kent, we made a bargain. A business proposition. Kindly stay in your hotel room and rest. This is the third day. The day after tomorrow, it will be all over for Roger and for you.
Pardon me, ma'am. Are you Mrs. Kent?
Why, yes. Who are you?
I'm the one who helped put your husband in the casket.
Well, why are you talking to me?
I don't know. Just to warn you, I guess. I think your husband's dead.
Oh, you horrible, horrible little man. Get away from me. I'll call the police.
That's you, Mrs. Kent.
Oh, Professor Vincent, I'm so glad to see you. A terrible little man.
Yes, I heard what he said. Now get hold of yourself and listen to me carefully. This is the 5th night. I want you to go to the hotel and wait until the carnival is over. Tonight is the last showing at Randolph. At 11:30, you take a taxi out here to the lot. I'll meet you. Roger will be ready along with the $500.
All right, Professor. Anything you say. Oh, thank God this is about to end.
Yes, my dear. It's all about to end.
Are you going out, Miss Kent?
Yes, clerk. And here's the key to my room.
Thank you. I don't think it's wise, though. I mean, you're going out alone. It's after 11 and mighty dark tonight.
The police haven't caught the killer yet?
No. Funny thing, too. Looks like he'll have to leave a fresh trail. You know, kill somebody so they'll have more to go on. Now, why don't you take someone with you?
Oh, I'll be all right. I'm meeting Professor Vincent at the carnival lot. This is the night they released my husband.
I see.
Do you know the professor?
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, he's the one who hypnotized Mr. Kent.
No. Professor Vincent didn't.
What?
Professor got sick 5 days ago.
Got sick? Well, then who was Professor Vincent at the carnival?
I don't know. Somebody who took his place, I guess.
Here you are, driver. Thank you.
Professor Vincent, it's so dark. Where are you?
I'm sure the carnival was on this vacant lot, but now there's nothing. Just a few old papers blowing in the wind. Why did I let that cab leave? No light in sight. Those trees around the lot. What if the killer were hiding there? Oh, the place Roger was buried. It was in this direction. This way. Maybe I can find it. And Grandma be thought when he dug him up and filled the hole. Must be right around here. Oh, where is it? Oh, what's this? Mount.
Ah! No. Oh, they can't do that. They went away and left you buried. Oh, Roger. I'll get you out, honey. Oh, my darling, I'll help you. I'll dig.
Something is watching me from those trees. I saw it move. I could get out of here. I'll be back, Roger. There's no night filling station 5 blocks away. Maybe I can make it there. Oh, it moved again. There is someone out there. Roger, is that you? No, it's coming after me. It's too big for Roger. I don't know what it is. It's gaining on me. I can't let it catch me. No!
Mrs. Kent, calm yourself, please.
Who are you?
Don't you know? I'm Professor Vincent. I was waiting for you. Now, come with me to my trailer.
No, you're not Professor Vincent.
So, you guessed.
Who are you?
There's nothing to be alarmed about. You're in safe hands at last. I am Victor, Dr. Victor Vardmore.
I've been asleep, I guess. Legs feel cramped. Mind's foggy. Can't remember what happened. Sue, where are you? Dark. Pitch black. Must be night. Quiet. Not a sound. I can only remember. Think back. Smells damp, like fresh earth. Where am I? Gotta get up and stretch my leg. No room to... Wait a minute. There was this carnival. Professor Vincent. Oh, it's beginning to come back now. I was hypnotized and put in a casket. Buried for 5 days, yeah. Yeah, it's clear now. The time's up, yeah. They're going to dig me up now. Boy, the deep hypnotic spell that old boy put me in. I'm glad it's over. Okay, Professor. You can bring me up now. I guess he stepped away from the shaft. Shaft? Where's the shaft? It's supposed to be over my head here so I can see up. Can't see a thing. Cloth line, coffin lid, where shaft should be. What's going on here? I'd like to get out, Professor. Possible they went away and left me buried alive. Oh, no. Professor! Sue! Help! I'm buried alive! Good Lord. Help! Gotta get out. Help me, somebody! Don't leave me down here to die! Help! Push harder! More! No use. Won't budge. Help! I'm gonna die. You left me here to die. Can't call for help. Nobody'd hear me. Carnival left. Nothing up there but a vacant lot, edge of town. If somebody came back, how could he tell I was down here buried? Oh, God, don't let this happen to me, please. Help me, save me. God, don't let this... I don't want to die.
Roger.
I'm hearing things.
This is Professor Vincent. Now listen carefully.
Where are you? Get me out of here.
Don't fret. Your oxygen supply won't last much longer.
Oxygen?
You're buried alive, Roger. And I'm not coming back for you.
Not going back?
I'm leaving you buried there.
Oh, Professor, I'll kill you.
Now, Roger, tell me how.
I'll kill...
Don't excite yourself any further. The oxygen pellet won't sustain your lungs. You are hearing my voice in a small, shortwave receiver and transmitter near your head. I am talking to you from my trailer
About a block from you. Sue is with me, Roger. I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Sue, there?
Go ahead, Sue. Tell him.
Oh, Roger, are you all right?
Yes. What's he doing with you?
Please do as he says, darling. He's not the real professor. He's that escaped madman from the asylum, Dr. Vardmore.
He's crazy, Sue.
Please, darling, we have no choice.
Please, quick.
Listen to me. One move like that, and I will kill you both. I've gone to a lot of trouble to set up my final demonstration.
What are you going to do?
I am going to try personality transference. We have the required situation. A man buried alive in mortal fear of death. And the woman he loves, who will do anything to save him.
If we do, as you say, what then?
I will release the two of you.
And if we don't?
You have just enough oxygen for just a few more minutes.
I see.
Hurry, Dr. Vardmore. Get it over with.
Now, Roger, I want you to think about Sue. Sue, you about Roger. Each imagine he is the other. Roger, you are standing beside me in the trailer. Sue, you are lying down there in the casket.
No!
Cooperate and I will free you. It's your only way out of that grave.
If it works, you mean I'll be in Sue's?
Yes, and she in yours.
Do it, darling. It's our only chance.
He's not Sue.
That's enough. One more refusal, and I'll turn off the shortwave transmitter and leave you in your dark world forever. Now, Roger. Imagine you are Sue, standing here. Sue, you concentrate on being Roger in the casket. Think. Put everything else out of your minds. I have it. Repeat something you both know. Say the 23rd Psalm. Here we go now. Start with me. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness. For his name's sake, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table.
Roger! Sue! Help me! Don't leave me down here! The oxygen, it's going! Save me! Quickly, dig me up! I'm dying! No,
You have just heard Macabre, a special Far East Network presentation. In our cast were John Buey as Professor Vincent, Mitzi Hennessy as Sue, William Verdier as Roger, Milton Radmilovich, Air Force Sergeant Bob Eddy, and Air Force Sergeant Newell Stewart. Technical supervision by Hiroshi Odo. This is Air Force Sergeant Al LePage speaking. Macabre was written and directed by William Verdier.
Macabre comes to you each week at this time through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.